like Thor's hammer, boom. JaysonM40 scheming plots in the writer's room. Lord Triage stitches through his plans in the loom. Pop culture dissected, every panel consumed. Comics, anime, films on rewind. Deep dives, we leave no frame behind.
Like the story of Dracula, or at least his origin story, as a tragedy.
Super breakdown, it's one wild ride. X-ray the pixels, every Easter egg's exposed. Marvel the DC where the fandom explodes. From Akira to Gotham, the saga unfolds. With the narrators of myths.
Oh my god.
Wow, holy shit, shapeshifter. The shapeshifter.
Open the doors, it's the super breakdown. We're cracking the code.
Let's touch on Blackheart real quick. We just some shit and get.
From the pages to the screen, we take you inside. Super breakdown, it's one wild ride.
Yo, what is up? What is up? What is up? We here in the house. We may be one short, but he's gonna be in here momentarily. Welcome to the Super Breakdown Podcast. I'm your host, Power Maximus. We're here with the one, the only Darth Legacy himself, JaysonM40. Everyone's favorite demigod will be with us very shortly. Today is I'm really excited for this episode. I know I say it every episode, but specifically this episode, I'm excited for because this is a character that I've always kind of really enjoyed watching media of, like more so just anytime there's any kind of like this character's in anything, whether it be a TV show, movie, literature, anime, something, anything along those lines. I've always been incredibly curious and always locked in and interested. We are going over Frankenstein's monster.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun dun dun! It's alive. It's alive. But nah, I'm super excited. Like I'm a huge Frankenstein's monster fan, and so this one's gonna be really interesting, especially with the new Frankenstein movie that just dropped on Netflix. I think I've watched like 3 different Frankenstein movies within this week. So I'm excited to really dive in and really talk about this. So without further ado, Frankenstein's monster. So we can't talk about Frankenstein's monster without first talking about the creator of the monster, Victor M. Frankenstein or Victor E. Frankenstein?
I think it's M.
Yeah, I think it's M. Victor M. Frankenstein. Yeah. So this is pretty interesting. So first off,
I just want to point out there's some just in case there's any confusion. Frankenstein, when people say Frankenstein, they refer to the monster. However, the actual title for the monster is Frankenstein's monster. Frankenstein is the creator. Yeah,
Frankenstein is the scientist. For a lot of people don't get that, but Frankenstein is the actual scientist. It's Frankenstein's monster. They never really give him a name. And like a few iterations of of the character in different media do have him take a name for his own, like in Penny Dreadful, which is one of my favorite renditions of the character of Frankenstein's monster. He takes the name Caliban from I believe it was a poet. And I definitely will be touching on that later in the show. But I definitely will be touching on that because I thoroughly enjoyed the portrayal of Frankenstein's monster in Penny Dreadful. I think that was like season 1, because he has this awesome monologue. And first off, just the language within Penny Dreadful, the writing, the dialogue within Penny Dreadful it's like fucking poetry. It's
Yeah,
like fucking poetry.
Penny Dreadful really is. It's really like a work of art. The acting in it is just amazing. Frankenstein, like you can tell that Frankenstein was originally a book, and it came out a good long while ago.
A good long while ago. That's very specific. That's very specific, Jay.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say an exact date. I don't know it. I should have looked it up. But anyway,
oh god,
through the years, we can see like the Frankenstein adaptation, like this monster has been brought down
1818.
into 1818. Yeah, 200 years over. Good long while.
Yeah. All right.
Like, for example, the Addams Family with Lurch. Lurch
Yes.
is supposed to be depicted as like a Frankenstein, or there's plenty of other examples where a character has been crafted from what Frankenstein is like, supposed to be.
Yeah, the Munsters, isn't the dad? He's supposed to be a Frankenstein.
Yep, exactly.
Is it his name Frank?
I think it is actually.
Yeah, Frank Munster. I'm pretty sure. Hold on, let me look that up. But now another name for Mary Shelley's Frankenstein was also called the modern Prometheus, and that's a lot. When you're yeah, I'm not gonna go into Prometheus. I'm not gonna. That's a whole. That's a whole other level of philosophy and stuff. We're not ready for that. We're not ready for that. But yeah, so Frankenstein or the modern. Actually, so here's an interesting. The entire name of the book is Frankenstein or the modern Prometheus.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so that's the actually whole name of the novel, and it came out in 1818 by a lot of people call her the mother of science fiction a lot of the times because of her work with Frankenstein.
And a lot of what's actually really, really cool is that she was mostly a kid when she began writing it, I believe.
Yeah, she was like in her 20s.
Yeah, she was very young.
So that and that right there, that's also that's also a whole other like accolade that we can put on her as well. Because again, to be that young and then yet write something that is so pivotal, to the one to the world, right?
Yeah, and if you think about it, a lot of the things that was going on at that time during her lifetime was people were beginning to cut open cadavers. People were playing with electric galvanism, moving muscles with electricity. People were experimenting, and she was exposed to all of this in her world. And nobody else was thinking like this at the time. And, back then, a reader was probably immediately engrossed into something like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome, brother Triage. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone's favorite demigod, Lord Triage.
Hey, gentlemen, how we feeling?
We feeling good. We're feeling good. Like I was just telling everyone that I'm pretty excited for this episode. I was telling that I've watched like 3 different, very, very different Frankenstein movies over the last few days. It was the Netflix new Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, right? I also rewatched I, Frankenstein, which after rewatching it, I'm like, it could have been better. It was a very simple, basic ass movie, but it definitely could have been better. And then what was it? The one with Daniel Radcliffe and James McAvoy.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. which that I kind of rewatched that. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't like it as much as I thought I did.
I didn't get what the end goal of that was supposed to be, like where that was supposed to land exactly.
It was supposed to be the story of Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster told from Igor's point of view. And Daniel Radcliffe is Igor, and James McAvoy is Victor.
No, that I got, but my whole thing is, like I said, I just thought like the third point of view was just kind of interesting. I mean,
it didn't tell us anything new. It didn't expand upon anything, because you would think Igor would have. It literally is the story of Frankenstein, just told from a third person perspective.
Well, yeah. Well, there is that whole thing where there's the way you see the world, there's the way the world sees you, and then there's the way your closest friends see you. So I kind of understand that, because if you look at certain people, like look at a pop icon, look at someone like Michael Jackson or Prince. Like if you ask the people who work close with them, they'll tell you about who they were. But if you tell people who they dealt with, they'll tell you about what they taught them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have like the way the world perceived them, and then like the mark they left on said world. So I understand the idea of it. Like I said, I just think the idea of them doing that was, like you said, was better executed than the actual end result.
Yeah, no, I absolutely 100%. Like the idea that they had behind it was good, but as we all know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Right now, we were just walking through the origin of Frankenstein from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein or the modern Prometheus. I said Prometheus because I feel like for some of our viewers, not all of our viewers, but some of our viewers, we may have to explain the concept of Prometheus.
Okay, I got this.
People. And that's why I said, see, Jay, did I not just say I'm gonna wait till later to do it? And when I said I was gonna wait till later, and then in my head I was like, I'm gonna wait for Tank. I'm gonna wait for Triage. But yeah, let's whatever. Yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into it. The concept of Prometheus.
So it is explained that Prometheus was a god, and is often described as one of the older gods that took fire down from Olympus and brought it down to mankind, thus giving us a way to further ourselves. This basically is the first spark, which leads toward modern day technology. Now, Zeus, being furious with this, imprisoned Prometheus on a rock, and had an eagle come every morning and peck out his liver.
Hooray.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So,
and then it would regrow.
Yeah. Correct. At the end of every night, and then grow back and have it, and that eagle will come back and tear it out again in the morning.
All right. All right. So I just recently started watching Chaos on Netflix with Jeff Goldblum.
Mm-hmm.
And one of his close advisors is that he ends up taking it's Prometheus, because the show's pretty much about the downfall of Zeus. And I feel like they have Jeff Goldblum depict Zeus very well. Narcissistic asshole, all about himself, fuck everybody else. If it ain't about me, I don't want hurt. And if it's not about me, how can I make it about me? He goes to Prometheus because Prometheus had given him a a prophecy. I told him a prophecy. And now he feels like this prophecy is which it's about him and the downfall of him. So he goes to Prometheus, and sure enough, he's chained up on the side of a cliff, on the side of a mountain, and an eagle's pecking out his liver and stuff. So I'm sorry, I just made that connection finally, but because they never said his name in the show. I was wondering who the fuck is this nigga just hanging out on the side of this on the side of this cliff, just chilling. But no, okay. Now, thank you for helping make that connection. But no, yes. Now, with that being said, how would we be able to bring that connection between Prometheus and the title of the modern Prometheus when we're talking about the idea of Frankenstein's monster? Or well, I think when they say modern Prometheus, I believe they're actually referring to Victor and not the monster, because the Frankenstein's monster essentially would be the fire in this situation. Would you say, Jay?
Correct.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was in my head. It's almost similar to the story of flying too close to the sun. You know what I mean?
Icarus. Right?
Yeah, and man taking on more than they're meant to. You know, meddling in things that they're not meant to. Kind of like that. That's what it reminds me of.
There are some things that man was not meant to tamper with.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And I was having a really, really dope conversation. I think it was either last night, or earlier today, with our good friend Lady Mandalore, who is currently live right now. For everyone watching, she's currently live right now. Room full of blurs. Go check her out on YouTube. You can watch us both. On YouTube. Open up 2 tabs. Not that hard. You can open up 2 tabs. Bounce back and forth between the 2. But yeah, I was having a good conversation with her because I wanted to find a question. Right? I wanted to find a question that would be incredibly thought-provoking for this episode, right? But also slightly controversial as well. So I wanted to find a devil's advocate type argument, right, for Victor and said monster. So the question starts out: Frankenstein's monster. Who's the real monster in the story? Victor or his creation?
Well,
all right, hold on, Jay. 1 second, Jay. Triage. Go ahead.
It's Victor, because we have all seen Full Metal Alchemist, correct?
Yes. Well, Jay, have you?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
So it is said that the alchemists are forbidden to do certain things. You cannot transmit gold. You cannot transmit currency. You cannot recreate life. Those are big ones. And how the whole thing that combines and connects every person, everything, is that everything is born and everything dies.
Yep.
From a bear in the woods to a child in a hospital. Doesn't matter what your ethnicity is, what your color is, what your preference is, what your orientation is. Everything that is born will die. That is the one fundamental thing in life that connects all living things, is that life starts and life ends. So that is a fundamental staple of society in most religions.
Correct.
So, for someone to say, I am going to transcend that, it spits in the face of most people's beliefs, the idea of what God has prescribed for humans, because God is all powerful. God is Alpha and Omega. He's beginning and the end. So what he says by all nature is absolute. So if he says that a human is to be born and to die, and then for some mortal to transcend that, completely goes against everything that he says.
Yeah, it's like saying like life isn't good enough and I need to find something better. Like even though everything Triage just said.
So
the other thing.
All right, go ahead.
The other thing also is true, and this is the thing that his brother points out to him. His brother William. I thought William was a very interesting dynamic to Victor, because William says, "You made this person,
but
this creature, this thing, from several different people. Have you ever asked which part of this person represents the soul?"
Yeah, I love that line.
Yes.
And we're pertaining to the Netflix show, the Netflix movie of Frankenstein by Guillermo del Toro. There's a scene in there.
In the book, William is only 5 years old and he's not mentioned that much. And
Correct.
Guillermo del Toro really took this role and wanted to do something special with it, and I think he did a great job.
But that's also something you see again in the Full Metal Alchemist, because you have the homunculus, who are replicas of people, of alchemists' loved ones that they've lost, or people that have died from sickness or had accidents. So when you see these people be recreated, and some of them actually do achieve it, all they do is create a doll, a life-size doll that has some semblance of understanding, but it's the smallest version, to the point where they might recognize light or color and make sounds, but they can't speak. They can't walk and talk to the way they should for someone of their age or for what their demographic was supposed to be. So, and like the $1,000,000 question is, and like Edward Elric actually says it in the show, you can break down the human body from the sulfur to the salt to the protein to all the materials in your body, and the only thing that you can't find is the soul.
Yeah.
So in many different cultures and religions, there are many different beliefs of what happens to it once it leaves the body. And we all deal with death, and everyone understands death, but it's one of those things like where that question has never truly been answered.
Yeah, I was just gonna say this really falls under, one of the ultimate questions of mankind. What is a soul?
Right? Like, is a soul something that develops over time from nature and nurture? Is it something that's crafted through morality and hardship? Is it something that you inherently have that just measures you through your life? Like, for example, you have people that don't feel what's the word? Empathy. Does that mean that person has a bad soul? Like, what does that mean? Or is that just chemical impulses in the brain which tell someone right and wrong? What that also raises other questions, like in Full Metal Alchemist, Edward Elric, his teacher, Azumi, her child was stillborn, never even had a chance to take a breath. So if a child's never born, does that mean that child was born without a soul?
Yeah.
So I think by him trying to transcend death without truly understanding what it is he's doing, is he making progress? Yes. But we all agree not all progress is good progress.
Oh, correct.
And if this was a way for people to quote unquote live forever, who decide who gets to live and who doesn't now? Could you imagine the world if people never died?
My God.
Imagine the world if certain people never died. Imagine the world if Stalin, Hitler, Napoleon.
Oh God. Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good. People who have always wanted to for like Victor Frankenstein, people who have always wanted to cheat death or create life. It's just simply something that, man, inherently we know that we are not really meant to mess around with,
My bad, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Ooh, sorry, my mic dropped out. I was trying to pull you back because, boy, I wasn't trying to go there yet. Ooh, Triage just went off.
No, we there now, brother. We there now.
Damn. The whole time I'm like, whoa. Because no, that's exactly where the conversation with me and Lady Mandalore went. Because I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to find an argument that can pose devil advocate in the terms of who was like the real victim in this.
Well,
so
many in Guillermo del Toro, like that's really what he does.
Well, yeah. So, but my question is, I wanted to see if I could pose a question that, like, again, playing devil's advocate from Victor's side that could, to form an argument for Victor's side of things. You know what I mean? Because clearly we all know the monster of Frankenstein is the victim, right? He is a victim in this. But is there a point of view where Victor is also a victim as well?
So,
Well,
go ahead,
yeah,
Jay.
go ahead. Well, I was just gonna simply said I think that I really, really liked how the first half of the film was told through Victor Frankenstein's point of view. And then the second half was all told through the creature's point of view. And you really got the decision really after viewing both sides, the decision is really left up to you, because you can. Well, I mean, for me, I found empathy on both sides. I was feeling like crap.
Yeah, no, I agree. I can definitely, at least the way, and again, I personally haven't read Mary Shelley's novel. Jay, I believe you have.
Long time ago, yeah.
So in the first half, when Victor's telling his story, like at the beginning, when he's talking about his father and his mother and how his mother died during childbirth, giving birth to William and stuff like that, was that in the book as well?
Yes, yeah. There's family history and stuff in the book. Yeah.
So what I would say is, if the depiction, at least from Netflix and Guillermo del Toro's rendition of Frankenstein, I could say that Victor himself was a victim of, and the catalyst that starts this entire cataclysm, this massive event of that pushed him to the point of perverting nature the way he did. I can say his father played a heavy role in that, at least from the Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein iteration and version, right?
Yeah, I fully agree.
The pressure and the resentment that, well, first off, it all started with I would say it would all start with the pressure from his father to be the best possible surgeon that he possibly could be, because his father was one of the best surgeons in that part of the world, apparently, right? And then that, I'd say, that positive light, dad wants him to be the best. Hey, man, you got to be the best, because if not, you can't fuck up in this. You got people's lives on your hand, right? Yes, his father came from a very more abrasive and brash outlook on the learning, but he had the right state of mind. It's like, yo, you need to be the best, right?
So that talent that he created was born out of fear.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get there. So all that pressure and pushing and everything, like, oh, listen, you got people's lives in your hands. You cannot afford to fuck up. You got people's lives in your hand. That then turned, the moment that his mother went into labor, he turned to his father, who he already resented. Turned to his father because his father was supposed to be the best, right, at what he did. He turned to his father to save his mother. His father was unable to do so because, one, we all know medicine back then was shit compared to what it is now. It was like spitting on a cut back then, essentially. And then, due to his father's failure, one, granted, he grows a resentment towards William because his mother died. His mother, his only friend, truly died in the process of giving birth to this human being that is now supposed to be his brother, that his father now has grown a larger attachment to than to him. But that resentment to his father really came from the fact that he was unable to save his mother. And so he's like, okay, all right, you want me to be the best goddamn surgeon? Fine, I'm going to be fucking better than you. And I'm going to do one better than you. You weren't able to save life. You weren't able to save her life. I'm going to do one better than you. I'm going to bring back life.
Yeah.
And I really feel like from that moment his mother died, that's where that spark started. Right? That spark of, you know what? I'm going to be far better than you. I'm going to reinvent the entirety of this world just to spit in your face. And I'm going to be better than your so-called, loved son, your favorite son. I'm going to be better than him too. And I feel like that's where this all started. Again, if you're looking from Guillermo del Toro's rendition of the character. So I would say that the victor was a victim to begin with, and all he ended up doing was perpetuating the cycle as an adult.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because what was his father? But nothing but crude,
Another
crash, crass. I think the word is crude, crass, abrasive, mean to him, stern and strict with him, and anytime he made a mistake, he got whipped for it. And what ends up happening when he creates his monster?
So my thing with that is, and this is something I thought that I saw recently when it talks about boys that are raised by their fathers to be men. And this is the thing I saw that really spoke to me, because we all lived through the 90s.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
we all know that we're all grown men, but we all agree that we never grew up, right?
True.
We're all
We're gonna be doing
big kids
this
are, right? a lot of cats I know who grew up to the 80s and 90s are the same way.
Yeah.
But the thing I realized, and I actually heard the Jacksons talking about this regarding the 90s movie they did about them. How they said that their father had raised them to be men at a very young age, because once your childhood is a very small part of your life. And in hindsight, that's very true. But you figure your childhood is from your toddler years to you being 13.
Yeah.
Now
13,
you figure if the average person lives to be 80 years old, that's a small percentage of your life.
Yeah.
So you are going to spend more time as a man than you ever do as a child, as a teenager. So it's like you being raised to be a man at a very young age, especially in a harsh world that doesn't care about you, that expects certain things from you. If anything, that is probably the best advice you can give to most young men, because you are going to be a man for the rest of your life. But the issue becomes that you are taught to push away all the things that make you weak or make you soft or make you feel that could compromise you being what it is you need to be.
Air quotes. Mm-hmm.
So I think that is such a reductive mindset, because it gives you the very flaws that blow up later in your face. For example.
Oof.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes, right there, bro. Exactly.
Perfect example. Anakin Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
Freed slave, joins this order that basically tells him not to direct his emotions, not to give him an outlet, but puts a lid on them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can't love her. Loving her is wrong. You can't be angry about this. That's wrong. You can't be passionate about this, because that leads to this. Like, that is such a flaw in a system for young men, because we get told, stop crying, don't be a bitch. Like, you want to cry, I'll give you something to cry about. And then when that same kid is 20, 30 years old, doesn't laugh, doesn't smile, doesn't talk much, because that same kid has been told his entire life that's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the many issues with modern day society is that we are a generation. I appreciate you. one of the many issues of modern society that we are a generation of men raised by women.
Mm-hmm.
So you got this boy who was raised from a very young age to be a man by a woman, who later on in life, if he does seek a woman or seeks a partner, and that partner's curious to why he can't show emotion because he's been told his entire life that's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get looked at as this sociopath or being mad violent, or second you lose your cool. It's not you verbally accosting someone, it's you assaulting someone. It's not you saying back off, leave me alone, it's you putting a hole in a wall.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now, once again, I get not
your ability to communicate with the people around you. If you're not able to, sit down, take a look at those thoughts, emotions, and stuff, and if you're not taught how to analyze them and understand them and understand what they mean, it's hard to communicate to someone else what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you need. So the communication for anger, instead of being, yo, that pisses me off, it goes into, like you said, a fist through the wall, because you learn that there's consequences putting your fist through someone's face, so you put it through a wall instead.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like when it comes to Victor, that was heavy. So he found his outlet was, I'm going to dive into my work. I'm going to become what everything that my father wanted me to be, but I'm gonna make him hate me for it because I'm gonna do it way better than him. Right? I'm gonna do it better than him. I feel like a lot of what he did was, one, out of love for his mother, because he wanted to find a way to see if he could bring her back. And the other half was out of spite for his father. But then that spite ended up turning into a loathing of the society around him.
Now, you want to know who this sounds a lot like to me?
Who?
I'll give you one guess. Marvel character.
Doom.
Yup.
Doom. Yup. So he said, you know what? The world around me is not willing to do the things that need to be done in the realm of progress. So I will do what needs to be done for the people. And if you don't like it, then I'm gonna do it on my own somewhere else. And that's where Doom took it. But Victor was like, guys, look, because at that time, science was heavily ruled by religion. The world in itself, at least that side of the world at that time, was heavily ruled by religion. And as we see in that scene in Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, that I'm not even calling it Netflix Frankenstein. Guillermo del Toro. It screams.
Yeah, that's
all
better.
Guillermo. We're gonna talk about like you see him in that scene when he brings that cadaver back to life. You would think that off rip they'd be like, oh shit, he did it. Oh shit, he said he was gonna do it, now he did it. Oh shit, he done did it. But in turn it was, oh shit, he on some bullshit. Nope. You're playing games. It's trickery. Where's the wires? Where's the mechanics? Where's the mechanism? And then when they realize that, oh shit, this is no mechanism, this is not mechanics, there are no strings attached, that it then you see it quickly turn from charlatan to blasphemy when you realize he really did do it. You see where that conversation turns to blasphemy.
Oh yeah.
But again, I would say that at least in Guillermo del Toro's iteration, that both Victor and his creation are both victims here. Victor being a victim of his father, and the harsh rule of his father, to the to the harsh rule of the world that he was in. You know what I'm saying? But like earlier, Triage posed he said something that's where I was gonna get to. And that's exactly where me and Lady Mandalor's conversation went. you know, is this an argument of science versus progress or practice versus progress, right? Is it a situation of was is the question was the work of Frankenstein justified, right? Or um or was it worth it in the end? And then the question I pose is that, like, in a situation of, just because, like Jeff Goldblum said in Jurassic Park, essentially, just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it. You know what I'm saying? Um, and
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
and then I posed the question of what would that world be like if they had accepted Victor's experiments, right? If they did say, "Oh, whoa, Victor, that's crazy. It's amazing. Hey, teach us more. Here, we'll give you the funding for you to fully fund your experiment and see what you can do, and we'll watch and see what you can do because you're on the precipice of something astounding."
But I also feel like that whole idea of pushing the boundaries with certain things, that's why people did experiments in certain camps. That's why people in the Marvel universe go to work for Hydra. You know what I mean? They want
Yeah.
to push
Yeah.
science to pass these boundaries. That's what gave us the Weapons Plus program. I mean, we all know certain things like fucking Viagra and gunpowder were mistakes. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like
Yeah.
Petroleum jelly well, nobody was trying to make petroleum jelly.
total mistake.
Yep.
And it's also one of those things like where it doesn't matter whether it's for the good of mankind because that is the shield that blocks the sword. And what I mean by that is
Ooh.
that it's only good is if someone makes a profit.
There we go. And
There's-
that leads into that next part that you were saying is if they, and it connects back to what I said, if they had accepted his experiments, what would that world have turned to? Like you said, who gets to choose who gets brought back and who doesn't?
Like, can you afford to bring someone back?
Can
What is
you
it you have to
afford-
provide? Like, you have to be from a certain level of nobility.
Exactly. And then again, if they did run with that standpoint, what would the world look like if the people who were in charge stayed in charge and just never grew old, right? And you know what I mean? The kings, the queens, fucking people like Napoleon and people like, all these czars, these leaders, these kings, if they stayed alive because of this, because they had enough money to get brought back. But then the other question is, if they get brought back, and this is where it comes full circle, will they be who they were before they died? Would their soul stay? Is there a certain time limit that they have to be resurrected before they come back no longer themselves?
But it's not, and maybe not even that. Maybe it's more super soldier serum, where maybe the process just makes you more who you are. Like, it was clearly stated that Frankenstein has the capacity to learn. There's very few iterations of him where you've never seen his intelligence not increase.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true.
From Guillermo del Toro's to the version that we saw in Van Helsing to the one we saw in Penny Dreadful. Like, that one was almost Shakespearean in the way he spoke.
Oh God.
I think that when you see Frankenstein, as Trias just said, learning, I think it's supposed to resemble the innocence of a child learning the first things that they are learning, and you're supposed to find empathy with that in comparison to Victor being the
Abusive
demanding,
parent,
abusive
essentially.
parent. Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, hold on. Give me. Let's take a quick break because we're diving into something real deep. Let's take a quick break. Listen, it's been a while since we talked about it. Are you guys? I gotta ask. Are you guys getting tired of the same old podcast, the same old people popping up on your streams and talking about the same old things that everybody else is talking about? You getting tired of that, Jay?
A little bit.
What about you, Triage? You getting tired of that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm getting tired of that too. And if you're getting tired of it, I feel like I gotta let you guys know that there is a group, there is a collective of podcasters that have all joined together to bring you, the viewers, the podcast lovers, a fresh, brand new feel, vibe, take. It's unfiltered, unstopped, straight in your face. Here it is. Group of podcasters. It's the Indie Primetime Initiative, and like if you want new podcasters, I say you got to check these guys out. You got to check these guys out. You know what? Let me show you better than I can tell you, because I also got to refill my glass too. So without further ado, please take a moment and take a look at these beautiful, lovely, and wonderful podcasts.
Power Maximus drops the mic like Thor's hammer. Boom, JaysonM40 scheming plots in the writer's room. Lord Triage sketches stories, plans in the loom. Pop culture dissected, every panel consumed. Comics, anime, films on rewind. Deep dives, we leave no frame behind.
Like the story of Dracula, or at least his origin story, as a tragedy.
We take you inside. Super breakdown, it's one wild ride. X-ray the pixels, every Easter egg's exposed. Marvel the DC where the fandom explodes. From Akira to Gotham, the saga unfolds. We're the narrators of myths.
Oh my God.
Wow,
Office wars, we dig for the gems. Open the doors, it's the super breakdown. We're cracking the code.
Let's touch on Blackheart real quick. We just some shit and get.
From the pages to the screen, we take you inside. Super breakdown, it's one wild ride.
What? Yeah. What? Understand I got a lot on my mind.
You won't get far. This is the way you play a game of life or death star. So far removed from the drama, we don't notice harm, but won't hesitate to shed a light like a Patronus charm. With mischief managed, troubles at a disadvantage. Must be something in the water, dip your toe because you know it's warm. Where can you find another show with such a fine cast? And if you try to box them in, they playing Minecraft. And basically the sum made up like you define math. This crew's the best and it figures like a line graph. A merry band like the words I do. Level-headed, you don't have to have absurd IQs. They know you can relate because they're nerds like you. With their help, you'll see the world from a blur's eye view. Yeah. You are now tuned in to Blur's Eye View. And without further ado, we out.
All right, we're back. All right, I was able to fill my cup back up. So we ready to go? Just so y'all know, I'm feeling a little bougie and a little fancy. I am sipping on some pure white Hennessy. I got friends, I got connects, and I got me a bottle of pure white Hennessy. So for those who don't know, it's gonna be expensive for y'all if you wanna sit like me. I just got lucky. So I just got lucky. Um,
I think I'm gonna have some brandy.
some brandy. All right, perfect. Because I feel like this is a topic in a conversation that like you can't talk about without um, without having a drink to really talk about to kind of loosen up and really dive deep into because this is when you're talking about Frankenstein, you're talking about Victor Frankenstein and the entirety of this character, like it gets
Well,
it
I will
becomes
crack open some rum.
you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
So this 100%, it becomes philosophical when you talk about it.
oh yeah, absolutely. It's a very philosophical story because it really deals with questions about humanity, good and evil, morality.
Oh,
Everything.
heavy on the morality, but also ethics. Don't forget about ethics. You know, it's
Oh
about,
yeah,
about what's ethical as well. And is it morally right if you have the power and ability and the knowledge to push those ethical boundaries? You know, listen, think about it this way. Everything is unethical until someone actually does it. You know what I mean? There's
Whoa,
been
whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold
think
on.
think about
Say
it.
that one more time.
What was it done? What was it done? When you say it off rip, it sounds wild, right? But if you take it back, right, and if you look at a lot of things, for example, like when it comes to if you're speaking unethical, you know, every step, hell, I'll bring it this way: a black man sleeping with a white woman was unethical and not morally correct and frowned upon, but
correct.
now widely accepted
Oh
for
yeah,
for the most part. There's certain places that still don't fuck with it, but
There's
now
a
it's no
there's a
longer
whole holiday for interracial couples, all right?
whole holiday for interracial couples. Hold on, what?
Are you fucking with me right now? You're being serious.
Whole holiday for interracial couples?
Yeah, it's called Loving Day. You didn't know that?
No, no, I didn't.
Yeah,
What?
it's from the case from Loving versus Virginia about the interracial couple.
Oh,
I didn't know that either.
I remember
Had
hearing about it, but it's never something that's been very prominent in my education. As you know, we all know with American education, they barely fucking talk about Black history. They give you a month, and that's it.
I mean,
yeah.
I will concur with that. That is true. I don't think it's Black history is not taught well enough.
It's not taught well enough. And with it, sorry to get political real quick, but with this orange fuck up there, they're gonna absolutely try to erase Black history altogether. That's the hot take for this episode. Anyways, but yeah, there's a lot of things that were deemed unethical before somebody did it, and it changed the minds of the masses, right? Because again, what's ethical and unethical, it's solely based upon the perspective and view of the masses, right? Take the film The Purge, for example, right? The masses accepted the fact that we will now have a day where all crime is legal. And they deemed that that day was ethical, that it was okay to have that day. Right? The masses participated in a day that they knew people were going to die. Right? The Hunger Games, right? No, because it wasn't really the masses that said, hey, that's okay. It was like the 1% that said, hey, we're gonna kill the rest of them. But it's more so of a situation of, again, ethics are chosen and decided by the masses.
Uh, hold on. No. So that is the illusion of inclusion. Those are perfect examples of what you're saying is what's the perception of what's to be believed. So the purge is revealed through the sequels to actually truly be about population control. The whole thing with that was them killing the homeless and them making society more tolerable. That way, no one questioned the things that were going on around them.
Yeah.
Now, the whole thing with the Hunger Games was, you know what I mean? That was all those in power trying to make sure that the quote unquote rebellion never happened. And all they did was force feed one.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, all right, Hunger Games not out there, but the purge on the surface. All right, the purge on the surface. Listen, if one day everyone just said, you know what, it's okay to kick a cat. Jay, it's okay. I'm sorry. I brought up cats. All right, I don't want, you know.
Yeah, you know what? Whatever.
Yeah. But if one day somebody said, you know, it's okay to kick a cat, everyone decides it's okay to kick a cat. Kicking a cat is no longer unethical because everyone says it's okay to do.
But what if a person was born that all of a sudden felt, you know what? Kicking this cat, I feel like it's wrong. Would that be unethical?
And then that person would be in the same situation as Victor Frankenstein. That person would then have to show that burden of proof that kicking that cat is unethical, while Victor stood to prove, hey, listen, we can bring people back to life.
Victor didn't kick the cat. Victor threw it in a bag, put that shit into the sky, and then shot it on its way down.
And then brought it back to life. Just to do it all over again. But you see what I'm saying? Like, granted, in art, where we stand today, what Victor was doing was unethical and morally wrong. Right? But again, if we look at society today, and then actually probably still today, but if we were to shift back, right, to all the scientific progress that's been made in this world, a lot of what was done to get to where it is was unethical. And we, as black men, me and Triage, the syphilis experiments.
I mean, I fully agree with you. I fully agree with the fact that our world, as it is today, has been built on sweat, blood, and immoral choices.
And a lot of immoral choices.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of immoral choices.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of
it's really like a child not knowing what is and isn't, and like learning along the way. Except
here's the thing: who said that working on someone's dead body, taking it apart because that's how medicine was improved, by somebody sitting down? That's how we know the human body. There's a whole museum that is based off of the organs and stuff of a human body. Someone actually took the time to go through a cadaver and completely remove that cadaver's nervous system, and it currently sits on display in a museum.
Benjamin Franklin had to cut up bodies in his basement in secret because it was frowned upon.
Well, and again, but that's the thing. Who said that, hey, you know what? It's okay to take this dead person's body apart.
If you know something is better, like in the long run, or better of the two evils, like a choice of the lesser of the two evils.
Yeah, but I agree. I see what you're saying, but here's the thing. Like I said, who was it that said, you know what? It's okay to desecrate this human body, right? Because at one time, human remains were sacred. Were sacred,
Yeah, like yes,
and still to today, a lot of societies, the human body is very, very sacred.
correct. That's why there's desecration of a corpse, and
But
we respect the dead.
But who was that first person to say, "Yo, listen, it's okay for us to take this human's body apart in the name of science"?
Well, what if you agree that it's not okay, but you still do it because you know you have to?
That's exactly what Victor was in, because they're in a time where people were just dying for anything because their medicine really wasn't up to par, right? That people like this drop in, here, let me do a quick Google search, right, as to what the average lifespan was for somebody in the 1800s, unless that's a random fact that you may know.
I mean, it was in the 1800s. That's like 50s, 60s. You're like gonna die soon.
Let's see. Average lifespan in the 1800s was globally 30 to 40 years. 30 to 40 years old.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking. Oh yeah,
and
okay, that's right.
And that's if you survived childhood. Reaching middle age meant significantly longer remaining life expectancy, right? But then you had disease, poor sanitation, the lack of modern medicine, people not washing their damn hands, common illnesses and diseases that were taking people out, right?
Back then, we didn't even know that running water was safer than stagnant water. Like
exactly. People washing their hands in the same water that they just let all their their shit run into. You see what I'm saying? So at what point did somebody say that it's okay to do X, Y, and Z? You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure that today, as of today, like in today's world, there has to be. I'm pretty sure there's a certain set of laws, and they're called something, and they exist in medicine where you're allowed to do and not allowed to do certain things.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a part of their medical oath as well. But when you look at it, Victor essentially was living in a time period where death was all too common.
Yes, the familiarity of death was so much more normal.
So to what you had said, to him, it was the right thing to do, because to him, he's like, I need to stop death. We have children that are dying before they even get to, even see life, see the world. We have children dying in the room. We have mothers dying, giving birth to their children. What if we could just stop all that? Because remember, bringing someone back to life was only the first step. His goal was truly to eradicate the idea of death.
Yes.
Right? But first, he's like, before I can eradicate death, I need to understand how to reverse death. And that's what he ended up doing. Right? So to him, it was morally right. To him, he was doing his entire society a service by reversing death. To him, he felt like, hold on, all you religious fanatics here are just okay with, apparently, according, and again, not my beliefs, but essentially what he was saying, your so-called God is okay with a child dying before it even is able to take its first breath of air, right? You're okay. Your God is okay with X, Y, Z, this, that, and the third, right? He's like, to me, that doesn't sound like a God. That's what he's saying, right?
Yeah.
He's like, and so if I showed you that I could reverse your so-called will of God, that will show you that this is not true, that you are incorrect. And so he said, this is what I've done. This is what I'm going to do. So to him, it was morally he was morally obligated as a man of science and as a doctor to help. And to him, he was helping. So now, does that make it unethical? And again, we all know, and as we said so many different times in this show, Triage, I'm pretty sure you know what I'm about to say. As we all know, the road to hell.
Hey, with intentions.
Exactly. So to him, he was doing the right thing. Does that make it morally wrong and unethical? Because again, like you said, we've seen so many different things. Our medicine would not have become this advanced without someone stepping outside of the lines of what is supposed to be morally and ethically correct here and there.
Well, the thing with that is that there's something else that also goes hand in hand with that, and it's warfare.
Ooh, okay, yep. That's a solid point. Break it down,
Now,
brother.
So we talk all the time. We had gone over the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And M, the antagonist of that, who was revealed to be James Moriarty, his whole goal was to use the League to create an army of the League. Vampiric assassins, invisible agents, an army of Hyde. So it's like he wanted all these things from this small group of people, and like they when they find out about this, they all even collectively go, "I'm not going to let my evilness affect the world."
Yep.
So he basically took their afflictions and weaponized them.
Yep.
Now, we seen Guillermo del Toro's take on the character. That Frankenstein was fucking strong as shit. He had a capacity to learn. He healed almost automatically from any injury. Could you imagine an army of them?
Not to mention, he was immune to the cold. He was immune to extreme heat he was immune to extreme temperatures and extreme weathers.
And here's another thing. Victor actually had made him from several soldiers. What if he had retained the knowledge of all the soldiers he had used?
Right?
Correct. Because he actually does say, I have memories of 7 people. Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's what prompted him to go back to the tower to try to find who he is after he's talking to that little I wouldn't even call it a village. It was just a homestead. This little the elder of the homestead that he was hiding in, right? Because he's like, I have memories of this, that, of war, but they're not my memories, and they're from different people and stuff like that. That you're absolutely right. That's what prompts him to go back, and then that's where he ends up remembering what happened. But I see where you're going with this, Triage. Like, what if he did succeed? And that goes back into my question. What would his world look like if they accepted this?
You know that movie that has I don't remember the actress's name, okay? But in the movie is about organs that people need and get transplanted, but they can't pay for them, and then people come and literally that's it. That's what the world will be like.
Fucking Bellamy, Paul Bentley.
Yeah, that's what the world would be like if Victor Frankenstein succeeded.
I was gonna go with if you were to take Victor Frankenstein's experiment and throw it fucking maybe like 100 years in the future. Look at Altered Carbon on Netflix. Fucking amazing.
There you go too.
You know what they did was, in order to continue, they essentially eradicated death in a way, to an extent, but extended extended life by having everyone's mind and brain downloaded into what they call the stack, which is essentially a hard drive embedded in your nape, in the top of your brainstem, that downloads your everything. And then they just take that out and plug it into, when you die, when that body dies or gets old, they just take that out and plug it into another body. And there you go. You're not going to look like yourself, because they didn't perfect cloning, which is fucking stupid. I never really thought about that for the show, but it's like, you're this fucking far advanced and you haven't figured out cloning yet.
I will say this. Automatically, you would need to know that automatically cloning, yes, the logic in that is it makes no sense. However, as the world is going today, that will be possible in the future.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, well, cloning's already possible. They've already been fucking cloning, dude. It has dropped 3 new dire wolves.
I'm saying if you were
and
able
working
to
on
cheat
mammoths,
death, you would know everything about genetics.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is absolutely fucking terrifying. Because again, Triage, if all this takes place in the 1800s, and it is now 2025, right? That is, now imagine if they accepted that technology in that time. Imagine how far that would come to today. Imagine what the world would look like today.
Everybody would be walking around with a battery pack and wires connected to the back of their neck.
I think it would be beyond that. What do you think, Drew?
Have a bunch of Darth Vaders running around, more machine than people.
But no. If they had perfected his his technology, and this is where here I'll jump over and talk about I, Frankenstein, right? And I, Frankenstein, they had progressed his experiments so far that they didn't need to patchwork someone together, because the whole point of Victor patchworking someone together was he was taking the best parts,
or the unspoiled parts of each.
Yeah, the unspoiled parts, essentially the best parts of that said body, to put him together. He's literally the best parts, if you think about it, the best parts of man.
Yeah, because the monster, the creature's hands, because he puts literally the hands of a 7-foot tall person on this body. You know, the hands are twice as big as that of a normal person. The arms are longer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. All right. But yeah, like they had progressed to the point that you didn't need a patchwork. You just put the dead body on the bed, and they were able to jumpstart and bring that body back to life. You know, and I, Frankenstein, we see them do it with a rat, right? It wasn't patchwork, it was just a dead rat, and they were able to bring it back to life. Right? And then so I, Frankenstein, I just want to be clear. I, Frankenstein is Triage, how would you describe I, Frankenstein?
It's
what do you
a
think?
little bit like fantastical.
Yeah, it's fantastical, absolutely. But like, if you were to say, like, all right, this mixed with this, and then you get this, what is something that you would say, like, are two things kind of formed together? Like, we got Lord of the Rings kind of like overhead large shots mixed with we get the main story of Frankenstein, and it picks up after the death of Victor Frankenstein, right? Right now, the monster is
isn't it like 200 years later?
Yeah. Well, it starts with
the
death of Victor Frankenstein, and Victor and his creation burying him at that point in time. All right, I'm gonna just refer to his monster as Frankenstein, because again, it's a lot of time he's referred to as Victor's son. So last name Frankenstein. If we carry it over, whatever, I'm just gonna call him Frankenstein. Right? It picks up with him burying his creator. Fucking demons start attacking him. Right? And then. And again, I want to point out that this movie was also created by the same people that made Underworld.
Yes.
So imagine.
Very good point.
Yeah. So imagine Frankenstein mixed
I
with.
think they were gargoyles, right?
Yeah, there were gargoyles. They weren't even angels. There were gargoyles who essentially were angels, right? But there were gargoyles. Apparently, the story is they were gargoyles that were sent. There were beings that were sent by the Archangel Michael. So they're angel adjacent.
Yes. They were like angelic being, but because they were on Earth, they were in the form of like this. Yeah.
Of gargoyles, right? And that's the form they took in order to inconspicuously protect humankind from the demons, which is also the idea of gargoyles in general. That's why gargoyles are on buildings. They were told that if we put this scary monster on this building, then the scary monster is going to scare off any demons or monsters that would try to come into this building. So on. So
yes. Yeah. The evil spirits will stay outside.
Yeah. But yeah. So imagine the story of Frankenstein mixed with Underworld, mixed with something that got to do with demons. Fucking Constantine. Yeah, mixed with
yes, that's
perfect. Wow, that's solid. Yes, mixed with Constantine. Yeah, man, it's a very simple ass movie. Very simple ass movie. And this is how you know that this movie was created by the same people that made Underworld. Because the bad guy is played by the same fucking person as the first Underworld movie. The dude that played Victor in the original Underworld movie, I forget his name. Fantastic fucking actor. Love him. Fantastic fucking actor. He plays an amazing fucking bad guy. I forget his name. But yeah, this this film was absolutely fucking balls to the wall, outrageous, right? But if you were to really think about it, that's the whole point where they're trying to do. They're trying to recreate Victor Frankenstein's experiment in order to create a being that essentially was Frankenstein, because everyone's like, oh, Frankenstein has no soul. And in that world, demons can only possess bodies that weren't already occupied by a soul. Right. And it's like, oh, well, Frankenstein has no soul. So if we were able to get a bunch of other bodies and bring them back to life, they ain't got no souls. So we can have all of our demon legions possess these working human bodies that were incredibly strong, incredibly fast, immune to, harsh weather conditions, and lived fucking forever.
The way that Frankenstein was created, that monster, that is the secret that they needed to bring their legions back, into the world.
Yeah. So they said, oh, we can take over the world by allowing our demons to possess these bodies. Oh shit, mixed with Van Helsing too.
Yeah, remember, I was going to say that.
Trying to do in Van Helsing.
I was either going to say that. I was also going to say Jonah Hex, but then I was like,
Yeah, no. Yeah, definitely more so Van Helsing. I can't believe we're talking about Frankenstein and we have completely glossed over Van Helsing. Because I feel like Van Helsing's Frankenstein was very fucking good too.
Oh, it was.
All right. Before we end this off, Triage. Out of all the iterations of Frankenstein's monster and stuff like this, what would be your top 3 best iterations and best renditions of Frankenstein's monster?
Interesting. So, if I had to pick, I would say Guillermo del Toro's iteration was something very special.
Very.
I would go as far as picking the version I saw in the Van Helsing,
Yep.
and I would like to change gears real quick
Go ahead.
because for all those who do not know, Frankenstein was actually a very big inspiration to Stan the Man Lee and a character that he created, the Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Oh, get to it. Get to it. Get to it. Do it. Hour 30. Guess we're going hour 30. Guys, this might hit two. This might hit two because we talking right now. We talking our shit right now. This might be 2 hours. Go ahead.
The Hulk was a reflection of two classic monsters, Dr. Jekyll,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Hyde, and then Frankenstein. Now, to me, I always took them as all four characters rolled into one
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because his whole take was, what if the monster didn't know he was the monster?
Ooh.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you find out, what if you found out that the monster and the doctor were the same person?
Oh. Okay. All right. All right. Talk
Right?
that shit. Go ahead.
And like you see the way it reflects in modern day, like especially like with Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, how he refers to the Hulk as the other guy,
Yeah.
Very true.
right?
Mhm.
So you see a little bit more of the Jekyll Hyde personality switch, or the dynamic between where they both acknowledge the other one, but they're not fans of the other one.
Yeah.
No Banner, only Hulk,
Banner weak. Banner puny.
right? But you see through Hulk's time in Battle World, you see Hulk's time as Absolute Hulk, you see his time as the Maestro, that the Hulk progressively learned. He wasn't just this mindless monster.
Yeah.
That is an excellent point because
Oh,
that
goddamn.
is the main trajectory with all these separate people.
Mm.
Like they learn along the way.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Triage spitting. Triage spitting. Keep it going. What we got?
Like I said, the whole thing, like with the Penny Dreadful Frankenstein, is that you saw the monster have that almost like that lust for life. Like he wanted to experience certain things. He wanted to feel. He wanted to be in the world. He wanted to have.
Can I? With
What?
you saying that, can I just take a moment to read something off? Can I take a moment to read something off real quick? With you saying that a specific thing, I need a moment to read this off because this is my favorite fucking moment in Penny Dreadful when it comes to the character of Caliban. And mind you, he doesn't take the name Caliban until what, like season 2, I think.
Mhm.
After when he says, you know what, fuck Victor, I'm gonna do my own shit, and he ends up becoming a part of that freak show, right? And I say freaks endearingly. And becomes a part of that freak show, and then he takes the name of Caliban. He actually takes the name Caliban after he meets the main character. Fuck, I always forget her fucking name. The main character of Penny Dreadful. Fuck, I forget
The
her name.
Mistress of Evil, yeah, I know.
Yeah, Mistress of Evil, whatever. Yeah, he meets her at a soup kitchen, and I think that's season 2 because they go through all that really bad shit, and
Yes.
and she's like, I need to get back to society. But at that time, he's living essentially in a homeless shelter, right? It's soup kitchens where they feed all the homeless and shit like that. And you know, at that point, syphilis is going around, or influenza. One of the really they're in the middle of a really bad fucking outbreak. It's either the Spanish flu or syphilis, typhus, something, one of those two, whatever. But clearly he's immune to it, so he's around all these people. But in the first season, and I believe it's like episode 8 of the first season, it's where he goes to Victor and says, and pretty much is like, I want someone else to be with. I want a bride. I want a companion, right? And he has this moment Victor has a gun to the back of his head, and he says, "What dreams I had of my mate, of another being, looking into these eyes upon this face, and recoiling not. But how could that happen? For the monster is not in my face, but in my soul. I once thought that if I was like other men, I would be happy and loved. The malignance has grown, you see, from the outside in. And this shadowed visage merely reflects the abomination that is my heart. Oh, my Creator, why? Why did you not make me of steel and stone? Why did you allow me to feel? I would, and this part right here fucking sent it for me. This last line fucking sent it for me. I would rather be the corpse I was than the man I am. And that whole monologue, and this is this is what we were talking about. The when it comes to Penny Dreadful, the way that everything is fucking worded, the dialogue, the way it's written, it's a fucking masterpiece. The dialogue is so fucking poetic. It's a fucking masterpiece. And that moment, like what you just said, we find in the iteration in Penny Dreadful, he's lusting for life. He wants to experience life. He wants to live. And it's like, if I cannot live like other men, then give me a companion and I'll go on and I'll be gone. I'll leave you on my way and live my life with my companion, but do not leave me alone in this world. And if you choose to leave me alone in this world, then just fucking kill me. And at the end of this, he says, you know, because Victor had crept up on him with the piece to the back of his head. So we're expecting that he doesn't know that Victor's about to try to blow his brains out. Right? But what he says at the end of all this is he says, after he says, I'd rather be a corpse than the man that I am, he says, go ahead. Do it. Pull the trigger. And he means that shit. He's like, yo, listen, if you're not gonna do what I ask of you, if you're not gonna make me a companion, if you're going to deny me the ability to live and experience and love life, then just fucking kill me. I feel like that is so fucking deep. And it ties back to exactly what you just said. This version lusts for life. And in contrast to what we see from Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, he doesn't lust for life yet until we see that ending scene of after, you know, when Victor dies, he says, live, my son, go on. And we see him walk across and the sun raises up and meets his face, and he supposedly takes in the warmth of the sun.
Well, I think also a big part of that was the embracing of humanity, because the question for a lot of people is like, you know, as men, we always look for that home, that safe place, that thing that you can always run to, that gives you that reassurance. And, you know, for most people, it is their partner or their spouse. Some people, it's their children, shit like that. So It's like, I think with the creature, he never truly got that outside of Elizabeth. Elizabeth is the first person to see the person and not see the monster.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because her perspective on life was so far different from Victor's, which is why I knew that they were never really, you know, gonna work out, because like her outlook on life was she cared more about the little things, the small things that made life worth it. because again, her expertise and what she was studying was insects, was insect life, bug life. No pun
I
intended.
love how Guillermo del Toro did that. And that's like that was another example on like how and why she was curious with the creature. Because
Yeah.
that was her natural curiosity.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
So good.
Oh my god, fucking Guillermo del Toro fucking knocked this shit out the fucking park, dude. He knocked it out the fucking park. But I you know,
I'm a little tipsy.
no, I absolutely. Again, I'm sipping on that pure white Hennessy. You know, I'm a more elegant, I guess. But
I have some Pinot Grigio.
Triage, are you sipping on something tonight?
Captain Morgan.
Captain Morgan, my captain. But no, man, this, you know, and again, like I said, like when you talk about Frankenstein, when you talk about the modern Prometheus, you need to sit down and you need to take a drink, because the conversation that you're about to have expands beyond a novel, expands beyond it expands beyond a movie, it expands beyond a show.
This
You know what I'm
book
saying?
centers around, you know, like we were talking before, it centers around one of the ultimate questions of mankind. You know what I mean? What is a soul? And
Oh,
does
absolutely.
the soul make you alive?
Yeah, is so it is. Oh, all right, bet. So is the soul, is your soul the, is your soul the conductor on a
Is
train
that
and
the
your body
spark?
is the train?
Is that the spark? Is that what makes the animation? Is that what brings the human body to life? Is without that, is it just the hollow shell? I don't know.
And this is what they end up. This is the story that they pretty much end up telling at the end of I, Frankenstein, is that, you know, they try to possess him at the end of I, Frankenstein, and they can't. And he's like, no, this body is mine. And it's supposed to resemble the fact that he does, in fact, have a soul. And maybe this brings back full
So
circle to what you were saying, Triage, is, you know, what is the soul? Is the soul something that is innately yours, that you just have when you're born, or is your soul something that grows with you? You're born, and as you grow, your soul grows too, right?
yeah,
You see what I'm saying? And I think that that's exactly what, you know, I, Frankenstein was getting at, is that, yeah, you know, maybe he didn't have one off rip, but maybe your soul is more so not something that's innately to you. Maybe it's something that you grow. Maybe it's something
maybe
that,
your soul is like the choices you make.
yes, but again, then we got to ask, what governs the choices that you make? You know what I'm saying? Because if you say that,
Oof.
that means that the
Oof.
brain itself is working before the soul
Yeah,
is initiated.
you're right.
I personally believe that the soul is what drives the thought. You know what I mean? It goes soul first, thought later. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, when you think about it, what's a good thought and what's a bad thought? You know what I mean? What part is it? This, you know, it's your soul that really chooses, all right, I'm gonna have a good thought right now, or I'm about to have a bad thought right now. You know what I mean? Or I'm gonna make a good action, or I'm gonna make a bad action. But even then, the idea of what's good and what bad is then subjective in perspective, and that's a whole lot of philosophy that we don't really have time to get into right now.
Yeah.
But these are the questions that Mary Shelley's
Drive us.
novel. Yeah, but yeah, these are the questions that Mary Shelley's novel Frankenstein, the modern Prometheus, brings. These are the questions that this book and this story of Frankenstein and Frankenstein the monster, you know, provoke and invoke in people's thoughts. You know, like you said, what is the soul? Is it, you know, the whole idea of the chicken before the egg? You know, have a soul before you're born, or is your soul something that comes after you're born? Right?
Is
It's a
the
story of
soul
morals and ethicity. You know, what is okay with pushing back? When is pushing a boundary okay, and when is it not okay? Right? When is it okay to challenge society, and when is it not okay to challenge society? Right? And then you get into the idea, then to the father son aspect of it all. You know, just because your child turns out to not be what you expected, do you shun or do you accept?
he was never meant to be a father.
All right. But even then, but even more so, that is also the way of life, though. You know what I mean? Acceptance isn't off rip. Sometimes acceptance has to grow. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
but I mean, you know, if you're a parent and you have a child, you're gonna accept and love that child immediately, no matter
Yeah.
what.
But you in air quotes, you should. Air quotes, you should. But that's not always the case, as we see these days, because again, the human brain is wired in a certain way that sometimes, just, you know, sometimes it takes time in order to accept the world around us.
Yes.
Look how long it took for society to accept science above superstition, magic,
A
and religion.
long time. Took a long time to convince those pompous assholes that the sun did not revolve around the earth.
Exactly. Look how long, and still to this day, there's still people that believe that the earth is flat and not round, or
Yeah.
oblong.
Yeah, those crazy assholes.
I don't want to say that, because honestly, you know what? Science can end up turning around and saying, you know what? Fuck, dude, we're all wrong. It really is flat, and there really is an ice wall, and there really is a firmament. We don't know, because we're not
Well,
the ones to say.
there's math that right now there's math that is literally proving
And here's
that
the thing, though.
our universe is a reflection of something else.
Exactly, because here's the thing: science gets rewritten every fucking day. Every day.
Oh yes, there's new discoveries all the time. Oh yeah.
Exactly, and there's discoveries that to the point where people have to sit down and completely rewrite what they thought. They have to rewrite what they thought, because hey, so who are we to say what we know now as fact and truth in the next, hell, maybe even 5 years, 10 years, could completely be erased and rewritten, right? From people like Victor Frankenstein, who took that extra initiative to push the boundary of our thoughts, our mind, our society, of what's ethical, what's moral, and said, fuck the chains. I'm going to push and push and push until I can't push no more. And that's exactly what ended up happening with Victor Frankenstein. He pushed beyond a barrier that he was not ready for. Because to be honest, I'm pretty sure Victor probably didn't think he was going to be able to do it in the first place. He wanted to do it, but I'm pretty sure I don't think he believed that he could do it.
Victor Frankenstein as Prometheus didn't just take fire. He literally took the whole fireplace.
Exactly. And again, here's the shit. Let's think about it this way. If we really want to get philosophical, and I'll end it on this. What if, when Prometheus brought that fire down to Earth, to humanity, what if humanity said, nah, I'm good, bruh? Because that's exactly what happened with Victor Frankenstein. He supposedly brought fire, something new, something never seen before, something that pushed the boundary of the knowledge and understanding of humans and mortals and the people around. And they rejected it. What if you
Yeah,
made it fire?
it's so funny, like how humans are. Like when the printing press was invented, people thought that it was stupid and it wasn't going to work either.
Exactly. You know, so again, it begs the question: if science was okay with taking apart bodies to better understand the human body, why was science not okay with the idea of bringing said body back to life? Right? And again, a lot of that falls upon religion, falls upon spirituality.
Yes, that's why we find it so abnormal, because
and
it's
unethical.
Yeah, it's just so against our nature. It's against what we know.
Exactly. But when one challenges what we know, you know what I'm saying? When one chooses to challenge what we know, you know what I'm saying? For a lot of the people who base everything within fact or fiction, with everything, you know, when you look at science, they say, "Oh, we don't take any superstition, anything that we cannot prove is not taken into consideration," right? So I don't feel that's right. I mean, because I'm pretty sure there's somebody out there that has tried to reanimate a dead corpse.
It must be a repeatable experiment.
Somebody somewhere in this world has actually tried to reanimate a dead corpse. There has been an actual real life Victor Frankenstein. With the way science is and the way the human brain is, there is no fucking way that somebody reads Frankenstein or the modern Prometheus and goes like, "Nah, I can't do that."
Well, today, what are we doing today to try and cheat death? We are literally inserting younger cells into the body.
Yeah, fucking stem cells.
We are using gene therapy.
Yep.
To stay younger.
Plastic surgery to look younger.
Yeah. Yep.
We have the ability to remake bones out of metal and do hip replacements, knee joint replacements. We're to the point where we have prosthetics to replace limbs that have been lost. What do you think, Triage, before we head on out here?
Say that last part for me again. I'm sorry.
We were talking about me and Jay were talking about
what have we done today in order to cheat death or stay younger. I use the example of gene therapy, inserting younger cells into the body.
I brought up the artificial knees and joints, getting knee and joints replacements, prosthetic arms to replace limbs that have been lost or never grew, using stem cells to grow new organs that can then be transplanted. Fucking shit, transplants. I mean, if there's not any other modern day actual real life Frankenstein shit, it's organ donation and organ transplants. We have people walking around with hearts from a different human being. We have people walking around with eyes, fingers, toes, internal organs from another human being.
There's no people walking around with pieces of a pig heart in their body.
Exactly.
It's amazing what we have achieved.
100%. I 100% agree. So
but we have not been able to bring someone back to life
that we know of.
Ooh, okay.
that we know of. And that's a whole government conspiracy shit. But Triage, yes, on that with that note, on that closing note, you know, like we've done so many different things to try to cheat death. In your thoughts, in your eyes, why is the idea of Victor Frankenstein so taboo? Even in today's world, again, when we have bone and joint transplant, organ transplant, stem cell research, cloning whole fucking cells, cloning other already dead, long dead creatures, dire wolves. They're working on mammoths next. We have 3 living dire wolves whose genetic makeup is 99% dire wolf, with the 1% being modern canine.
So I think that's too chimera-ish for me. I think playing with genes leads to playing with way too many things that we still don't understand.
I agree. I fully agree with that.
Yep.
And I think that we have seen many flaws when it comes to people playing with the genome and what's going on. And like I said, this whole thing with the cloning thing and making copies, that's a whole nother argument. Because once you start manipulating life, it goes from, okay, we're going to transcend death. All right, we're not going to do transcended death. We're going to make people better now. We're going to make them stronger and faster. Okay, we're going to make them stronger and faster. Now we're going to make them immune to disease, and we're going to do all this. And like you said, that's all fine and dandy until that quote unquote perfect being feels I'm superior. It's all fun and games until that perfect being who has this chronic pain from altered bones or cellular damage wants the world to feel their pain.
Damn. Okay.
This is why AI is going to take over the world.
Once again, like we all see it. We've all seen it before in media, in television. People have mentioned it in songs. Like it's all fun and game until that one person who feels ignored starts leading the masses. We saw that in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yep.
It's all fun and games until that person who quote unquote thinks they're superior feels they should read the world. Look at Doom. And now, once again, the thing that'd be scary is because these people who make these comments aren't always necessarily wrong.
Like
we have seen it on multiple occasions. Like, I had the best of intentions. I was trying to make the world better. I was just trying to further humanity. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do that. I was thinking in directions I never thought of. But the problem always is that any fool can make something bigger, scarier, more dangerous. It takes creativity to push things in the opposite direction. You've seen Jurassic Park.
Yep. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
You should. Like you said, make it bigger, make it more scarier, make it cooler. Oh, that thing's gonna give the adults nightmares. Like you just say that way because to a canary, a cat is a monster. We're just used to being the cat.
Oh. God damn. Right there. Right fucking there. And now go ahead, Jay.
One day we're going to be the canary.
One day we're going to be the fucking canary.
And it's going to be from our own doing.
Yes, it's going to be us that creates the fucking cat.
Right.
This is exactly why, whether or not humanity will be around in another 1,000 years, is going to entirely be up to us.
100%. 100%. We're either going to be our own salvation or our own destruction. And this is the story of Frankenstein. This is a story, his own hubris, right? I'm using the right word.
Yes, yes.
Oh yes.
His own hubris. I've never really used that word in context before. His own hubris was in turn his own downfall. He wanted to redefine life itself, and he pushed so hard that when he achieved it, he didn't know what the fuck to do with it. He wanted to find that Prometheus fire so fucking bad that when he found that fire, it burned him alive. It hunted him to the ends and the edge of the earth. And it watched him lie there on his deathbed. It haunted him for so long and haunted him for so far that in the end, he had no other choice but to accept it. Accept the monster that he had made. Accept every decision that he led, because he blamed the monster. He blamed the monster for the loss of his brother. He blamed the monster for the loss of the shorty that he loved, which was his brother's soon-to-be wife. Because remember, they never got married. They didn't get married. They died at the fucking wedding.
Yeah.
Right? He blamed the monster for every bad thing that had happened to him, to the point he could no longer deny that at the end of the day, granted, the monster may have killed my brother, but it was I who shot Elizabeth. And the reason why I shot Elizabeth is because I was aiming at the monster, but the monster would not have fucking been there if I had not created him. And he was only there pleading with me and asking me to give him a companion, because I had created him alone in a world, in a massive, huge world. And I had left him alone in said world to fend for himself, to learn for himself. And in the end, all he could do was accept. All he could do was accept. And I feel like that's another allegory as well for that moment when we're all, because we're inevitably all on that deathbed. It's crazy because, he learned how to cheat death, but he himself could not do it. He could not cheat death himself.
Well, like I said, it goes back to that age-old thing. The Reaper comes for us all.
Mm-hmm.
And it is also one of those things like where we all talk about, cheating death, but how does that work for the people who do cheat it? Like, imagine going the next 20, 30 years knowing every person that you love is going to die off. Every person you meet, everyone you get close to. Like, that causes a person to become extremely withdrawn. We've all sat through Young Justice. We all saw Vandal Savage in the way he was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you are born during a certain generation, and you are meant to live in that generation.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Immortality is in the end, for those of us who do not have the mental wherewithal for it, it's a curse. It's a curse. We see, in the case of vampires, we see many, many, many vampires talk about it. Hell, Interview with a Vampire. AMC's Interview with a Vampire. Fucking absolutely amazing. I love it. I cannot wait for
Are you
this.
talking about Anne Rice's?
Yeah, Anne Rice's Interview with a Vampire. Yep.
Oh, I have not watched it.
You haven't watched the show?
You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. I didn't watch it until Triage told me to watch it, and then I watched it, and I was like, oh god damn. It's on Netflix.
Oh,
It's on
really?
Netflix. The first 2 seasons are on Netflix. They haven't dropped season 3 yet.
Yeah, you definitely got to get to that. Oh, boy.
You gotta get through all of it.
Okay.
Witches of East. No. Mayfair witches, which is the Mayfair, whatever. What is it called?
Yeah, Mayfair Witches.
Mayfair Witches.
Yep, Mayfair witches. You got to watch that one. You got to watch Interview with a Vampire. You got to watch the Talamasca. You got to watch the new one that they're about to drop, Vampire Lestat, which is about his time after season 2 to where Lestat sees him again in the ending where Lestat leaves him in season 1 to where Lestat sees him in where Lestat is at the end of season 1 to where Lestat is at the end of season 2, because Lestat's not the main character in Interview with a Vampire. Highly recommend it. We'll talk about it. I think Interview with a Vampire and that whole Anne Rice series that's something for a later time, for down the line, because they're still dropping the show, and I want time for all of us to kind of really watch the shows and take a look at the books and stuff.
I'm gonna start Interview with a Vampire right after this.
Oh, bro! Oh my god! Okay, forewarning, is not necessarily for the faint of heart. There is a lot of subject matter that is not for the most open-minded of people. You catch my drift?
Okay, gotcha.
You're gonna see a man smashing a man while floating.
Fucking idiot.
Wow.
Were they not floating?
That sounds so nice.
I've in my lifetime I've never given floating back shots.
I have nothing mean to say. I have nothing negative to say.
That shit taught me some tricks, god damn it.
Oh god.
I am happy for people that can fuck in the air. And good for them.
Oh god. Ladies and gentlemen, don't mind him, he's drunk. Oh god.
Oh boy. That was funny.
Shit. Hello, my check.
1 2 1 2.
I fucking dropped my mic on that one. He said, "I'm so happy for people that can fuck in the air." That is fucking hilarious. Oh my god, that's getting clipped. That's fucking clipped. There's a few clips in this one. Wow. Guys, I've thoroughly fucking enjoyed this show. Like I said, I knew I was going to enjoy this episode. This has been a great episode. We've dived into so many different layers of this story, this character, everything from the beginning to the end, and everything in between. The multiple different layers of the story, the character, different perspectives and point of views of how you can look at it. Play devil's advocate. This has been a great fucking episode. I've had a lot of fucking fun with this one. And again, like I said, I watched like 3 different Frankenstein related films. I watched Guillermo del Toro's. I've watched the one with Daniel Radcliffe and James McAvoy, Frankenstein. I've also watched I, Frankenstein. And then of course Penny Dreadful's Frankenstein, like I said, is currently, I feel like Guillermo del Toro and Penny Dreadful, they're tied for 2 different reasons. They're tied as number 1 of my favorite iterations. And then we got the Van Helsing iteration, but then we also have so many different older iterations as well since the first film, which started all. Which again, let's also point this out. Since we're also, we also talk about movies on the show. The first monster movie in that aspect for Universal was Frankenstein. The first film made about Frankenstein was Universal's Frankenstein, and then only 5 years after is when they dropped Dracula.
Interesting.
Universal. I'm talking about Universal monster movies, because we know Universal tried to do that whole fucking dark verse shit, and that failed miserably because he decided to fuck with Tom Cruise. He should fucking know better. Anything that's not his is garbage. He
Yeah, that was
intentionally
dumb.
makes it garbage. He intentionally makes it fucking garbage.
I listen, man. Like I said, I think they have a bad perception between the blood and the gore, the storytelling. Like if you looked at Benicio del Toro playing the Wolfman and Anthony Hopkins playing his father, once again, you have the father-son dynamic. You have where's the man start and the monster end.
Yeah.
You have the whole thing where it's like, I have the weight of the world on my shoulders now. I'm considered to be this by society. I never wanted any part of this, but how do I exist being this? And with Benicio del Toro's Wolfman, we saw his life ended, and then the hint at the next Wolfman arising because the curse lives on. Well, with Frankenstein, I think it was very interesting because we saw him, like you said, the sun comes up, you see him walking away, leaving everything behind, like going to find his place in the world as if he's about to start living. Because there is a very big difference between living and existing.
Exactly. And leading up to that moment, to his father's acceptance, he was just merely alive in this world. But at that moment where and I feel like that's also an allegory for just us normal human beings, to like, we are not living until we release and let go of the things that are holding us back, the things that are in the past, our regrets and everything. Until we start accepting ourselves for who we are and what we are, we will never truly be living this life.
Amen.
I love that. I love this character. Like I said, this is one of my favorite characters. And I just want to say this. If Universal really wanted to do a MonsterVerse, this is where you start.
Yeah.
Where you start. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein was absolutely fucking amazing. And I feel like it is one of the best versions of Frankenstein that we've gotten in the most recent years.
Oh yeah.
Is one of the closest to to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein that I've seen in a very long time. And if you wanted to create a collective universe, not Marvel-esque, because that's the type of shit they were just trying to do with fucking Tom Cruise, not Marvel-esque, but more so just a connected universe.
Yes.
I want to see Guillermo del Toro's Dracula.
Ooh.
I want to see him do the Phantom of the Opera.
I want to see him do Phantom of the Opera. That shit would go crazy. I've never actually watched and sat through the Phantom of the Opera, to be honest.
What?
It's a great story.
I've never actually sat through and watched it. Never. And maybe that'll be the next thing that I watch on my list. And that's why I love doing this show, because sometimes we find
great
shit
singing.
Yeah. But I want to see Guillermo del Toro's Mummy. Because there's been rumors that Brendan Fraser and everybody's coming back to do a fourth Mummy movie.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I want to see Guillermo del Toro do Universal's Darkverse. Give him free range.
It's pretty interesting. In an interview, Guillermo del Toro said that like while growing up, his two favorite things was Frankenstein and Pinocchio. Imagine if he made like a realism Pinocchio that was like creepy.
Wasn't it? Well, didn't one recently come out? There was recently a live action Pinocchio movie that came out.
Yeah, I think that Disney remade it.
Yeah, Disney tried, and like I heard the trailers, I never heard the release. I heard the trailers, I never heard the release. Because it was going on at the same time when they had Haley Bailey playing Little Mermaid, and so I think he got railroaded by the negative feedback from Little Mermaid. and it kind of got buried. But I would love to see Guillermo del Toro do a dark verse. I want to see his Frankenstein tie in with the Dracula, tie in with the Mummy, tie in with who else? Who else is it? There's the Mummy, there's Frankenstein, there's Dracula, Wolfman. I want to see. Wait, did Guillermo del Toro do Benicio del Toro's Wolfman? Or
I don't believe so.
But
no, that wasn't. Yeah,
that wasn't Guillermo. But yeah,
No.
I would love to see him do like an entire universe within these monsters, because that's where Guillermo del Toro does his best work, in the dark. When there's darkness, he does
think
his best
about
work.
it, right? Like Dark Crystal.
Oh yeah,
like all those types of movies and films, like
Shape of Water, Hellboy, Hellboy 2, The Golden Army, Blade 2.
oh yeah, oh my god.
man. My God.
Like I just like again, Guillermo del Toro does his best work. Fucking Pan's Labyrinth. He did do the live action Pinocchio in 22. He did do it Pinocchio. That was him.
Okay.
Yeah, that wasn't that did Pinocchio. From Hellboy to Pacific Rim, Crimson Peaks, Midnight Alley, Kronos, fucking like all these movies that are just steeped in a beautiful dark. He did Mimic, bro. He did Mimic, and we talked about Mimic on the show already. Yeah, he did Mama. He did fucking what was it?
Oh, I didn't know he did Mama.
Yep,
That's
he
cool.
did. He did Splice. He did the remake of The Witches. He's done so many things. Apparently he did like man, he's done so much shit. He did the Hobbit films. Like,
Yes, I knew that.
Like this man, like this let this man do him. Just let him do him.
Right? You guys hear that for the 25th anniversary, they're going to be re-showing The Lord of the Rings extended edition in theaters?
Nice.
Yeah, nice. What? There was a third Pacific Rim. What? Oh, that was 3. Then what the fuck was 2?
Oh,
because I've
the
seen
second Pacific Rim was shit. Crap.
What was 2? Because I'm pretty sure there was only 2. There was the first one that had Idris Elba in it, and Ron Perlman, Charlie Hunnam.
There was a second one that came out. It wasn't as good as the first.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there wasn't a third one.
There was no third one. There was only 2.
Yeah. Okay. It was Uprising. That's what it's called. It was called Uprising.
Yes.
Unless they're making a Pacific Rim 3. Are they making a Pacific? Is he doing 3?
Squeeze more out of that lemon.
Please don't squeeze any more of that lemon. You kind of stop. Just stop. No more. Because like I said, 2 was good, but it wasn't nearly as good. Right. But remember, he also did Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yeah, those were good.
He brought that book to life, and he's also doing Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark too. But let's also not forget the animated stuff he's done, like the that series on Netflix that's going crazy right now, Troll Hunters. Like he's doing another one for that too. Did Wizards, like he has a bunch, like man, Guillermo del Toro's going fucking crazy on Netflix right now.
He don't miss. He don't miss.
He really don't miss.
No, yeah, he has huge deals with Netflix. Huge deals.
And does everyone know about them buying Warner Brothers?
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah, that's fucking insane. That's fucking insane.
I can't believe that. That's crazy.
I
can believe it.
That is so. I feel like that is so problematic so problematic. That's more problematic than a lot of people really
Understand.
really understand. That's really problematic for the film industry, because that's essentially a monopoly, bro. That's essentially a monopoly.
You're gonna.
I don't even want to get into all that right now, but yes,
Yeah.
we'll talk about it all. We'll talk about it offline. We'll talk about it offline. But yes, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, that has been the super breakdown for this week. We've been talking about Frankenstein, Frankenstein's monster, one of my favorite characters. This has been an awesome fucking episode, guys. We fucking knocked this shit out the park. This has been a great one. 2 hours. I knew it was going to be a long episode, but guys, this has been great. I love doing this. And until next week, please pay attention and check out everything that we have going on. Check out our Instagram. We will be posting more older clips from the beginning of our run here on our Instagram, on our Facebook. Pay attention to our YouTube. We go live every Sunday. We try to hit 6 p.m., but shit happens. Between 6 and 7 p.m. we will be going live on Instagram, on Kick, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. Tune in wherever you can. We're gonna have it's guaranteed that we're gonna have a fucking good time every motherfucking time. And again, as I leave you with some other amazing podcasters that you may love to view. And with that being said, we love y'all. I'm Power Maximus. We're here with everyone's favorite demigod, Lord Triage, and the Dark Legacy himself, JaysonM40. We will see you guys next week. And until next time, remember, fuck prep time.
Fuck prep time.
Fuck prep time.
Ay.
Power Maximus drops the mic like Thor's hammer, boom. JaysonM40 scheming plots in the writer's room. Lord Triage sketches stories, plans in the loom. Pop culture dissected, every panel consumed. Comics, anime, films on rewind. Deep dives, we leave no frame behind.
Like the story of Dracula, or at least his origin story, as a tragedy.
We take you inside. Super breakdown, it's one wild ride. X-ray the pixels, every Easter egg's exposed. Marvel the DC where the fandom explodes. From Akira to Gotham, the saga unfolds. We're the narrators of myths.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Anime battles, box
Shapeshifter.
office wars, we
The
dig for the gems.
shapeshifter.
Open the doors, it's a super breakdown. We're cracking the code.
Let's touch on Blackheart real quick. We just some shit and get.
From the pages to the screen, we take you inside. Super breakdown, it's one wild ride.
What? Yeah. What? Understand I got a lot on my mind.
In the war with these stars, you won't get far. This is the way you play a game of life or death star. So far removed from the drama, we don't notice harm, but won't hesitate to shed a light like a Patronus charm. With mischief managed, troubles at a disadvantage. Must be something in the water, dip your toe because you know it's warm. Where can you find another show with such a fine cast? And if you try to box them in, they playing Minecraft. And basically the sum made up like you define math. This crew's the best and it figures like a line graph. I'm Mary band like the words I do. Level-headed, you don't have to have absurd IQs. They know you can relate because they're nerds like you. With their help, you'll see the world from a blur's eye view. Yeah. You are now tuned in to Blur's Eye View. And without further ado, we out.
Power Maximus drops the mic like Thor's hammer. Boom, JaysonM40 scheming plots in the writer's room. Lord Triage stitches stories, threads in the loom. Pop culture dissected, every panel consumed. Comics, anime, films on rewind. Deep dives, we leave no frame behind. It's a super breakdown, we're cracking the code. Heroes and villains, we lighten the load. From the pages to the screen, we take you inside. Super breakdown, it's one wild ride. X-ray the pixels, every Easter egg's exposed. Marvel the DC where the fandom explodes. From Akira to Gotham, the saga unfolds. We're the narrators of myths, the keepers of old. Anime battles, box office wars, we dig for the gems, open the doors. It's a super breakdown, we're cracking the code. Heroes and villains, we lighten the load. From the pages to the screen, we take you inside. Super breakdown, it's one wild ride. JaysonM40 scheming plots in the writer's room. Lord Triage stitches stories, threads in the loom. Pop culture dissected, every panel consumed. Comics, anime, films on rewind. Deep dives, we leave no frame behind. It's the super breakdown, we're cracking the code. Heroes and villains, we lighten the load. From the pages to the screen, we take you inside. Super breakdown, it's one wild ride. X-ray the pixels, every Easter egg exposed. Marvel the DC where the fandom explodes. From Akira to Gotham, the saga unfolds. We're the narrators of myths, the keepers of old. Anime battles, box office wars, we dig for the gems, open the doors. It's a super breakdown, we're cracking the code. Heroes and villains, we lighten the load. From the pages to the screen, we take you inside. Super breakdown, it's one wild ride.